Why people believe public breastfeeding is inappropriate. Well, I think the anti-breastfeeding in public stories have been a bit hyped up and are more rare than the internet would have you believe. I mean, I know it happens, but the internet stories would have you believe that all breastfeeding women are constantly shamed and berated everywhere they go if they feed their babies in public. For perspective, I had 3 babies and breastfed the first for 15 months, second for 12 months and the third for 2.5 years. So a total of 57 months. I breastfed them in public when needed. Uncovered. I did pull up my shirt from the bottom, so not much showed. In all that time, not once did I get a dirty look that I noticed, or a negative comment. People didn't even pay attention. The only thing that ever happened was that once a young woman who looked like she was high stared for an uncomfortably long time and then walked up to me and said, "That's so beautiful." It was weird and uncomfortable, but not meant to shame me. I've done some thinking on the subject of nipples. The act of breastfeeding isn't what bothers people emo. No one cares if a woman walks around with cleavage, side boob or under boob. So it's not the boob, simply the nipple. Which creates another issue of simple sexism of the female nipple being indecent and the male nipple being neutral. All of which in my opinion is moronic. As a species, breastfeeding is how babies were first given nutrients. It's only now in a more intellectual world that feeding a child in a normal and natural way is looked down on. I have always been a modest person, and worried a lot about having to breastfeed in public with my kids. I very quickly learned that I, and everyone around me, would much rather me feed my kid than let them cry. No one ever said a word to me. In fact, a large room of people politely looked away when my daughter once pulled my entire top down. 8 years later, I am still quite mortified by that. The over-sexualization of women's breasts in general. Even if you don't see it, the act itself makes some people feel weirded out because they automatically associate women's chests with sex, which is wrong and stupid. I hate the over-sexualization of breasts, and people need to remember the real purpose of women's breasts. Feed babies. People are prudes and think any skin showing is about sex, even though it's not. Because people are idiots. In Canada, where I live, it's illegal to tell a woman to cover up when nursing a baby. It's ridiculous. It's literally the purpose of breasts. I have nothing against it, though it does catch me off guard, as I've only ever seen a woman breastfeed in public twice. But if I had to take a guess as to why people believe it's inappropriate, it's because they formed the idea in their head that it's simply not acceptable. Whether that be their parents' way of thinking or something they chose to believe themselves. It's quite normal in India. Women breastfeed here in public places and is not considered indecent. When I was a kid I could see that. But now I am grown up, which makes my stare indecent face with hand over mouth. Because people can't mind their own damn business. Titties are never repulsive and kids gotta eat. Absolute madness how anyone could get mad about it. Some people have been raised to be ashamed of the human body and think anything naked or revealing means it's sexual. It's unfortunate. Because people sexualize everything. Babies need fed on demand. When they decide, a breastfeeding mother has no choice but to feed them unless they want an upset, hungry, crying baby. The type of person to moan about a mother feeding her child are almost certainly the exact same type of people who would moan about a baby having the audacity to cry due to it being hungry. These people are called cunts. Boobs AAARRREESSEEEEXXXXYYYYYYYYYYYY men will AGTTTAAAAKKKKKYOUUUUUUUUU. That's kinda the just pretty much. I think it's dumb. It's literally a baby eating, so like, oh well man, shrugging. False rage. I breastfed my son wherever. I did try to cover up, but most of the time he'd pull the blanket off. But can't blame him. You ever tried to eat and breathe with a blanket on your head? It's hot and harder to breathe. Did you bring enough for the class? Because the crazy minority likes shouting and being loud while the indifferent majority is indifferent for the most part. It's a perfectly acceptable thing to do in most of the Western world, and most of the people against it are just some fools that should be ignored. I don't think anyone cares on a good day. Because breasts have been sexualized and Americans still have that Puritan streak. I think people that say it's sexual and inappropriate are people who have never known human interaction. Those kinda people need to take a break from the internet. But I will say, just straight up getting half naked for everyone to see is a bit yikes. But nothing wrong if they cover it up a bit.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.